morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Movement Radio. I am Chip Hazard, and we all know Batman, brooding, brilliant, Bruce Wayne. But what if I told you that the cowl has been worn by more than just one man? What if the idea of Batman is bigger than any single person? See, Batman isn't just a costume or a name, it's a legacy built on a few unshakable principles: a relentless pursuit of justice, mastery of fear, unmatched strategic genius, and an unwavering dedication to protecting Gotham City no matter the cost. And here's the twist: Bruce Wayne is not the only person who's lived up to that standard. Over the decades, Gotham has seen some wild cards step into the shadows, some by choice, others by sheer necessity, when Bruce couldn't or wouldn't. So buckle up, because this isn't your granddad's Batman list. Today, we're breaking down the most important people who've ever carried the mantle of the Dark Knight other than Bruce himself. And first up, we have to talk about the heir apparent, Dick Grayson himself. When you think of Batman's natural successor, one name comes to mind: Dick Grayson, the original Robin, the boy wonder, the boy who grew up under Bruce's wing and eventually carved his own legacy as Nightwing. When Bruce fell, it was Dick who stepped in. And here's the key: unlike some who wore the cowl reluctantly or violently, Dick understood Batman's core tenets. He fought with compassion while still mastering fear. He wasn't just mimicking Bruce, he made the role his own, showing us that Batman could inspire hope as much as fear. In many ways, Dick Grayson is proof that Batman isn't just an individual, but an ideal that can be passed on, refined, and maybe even improved upon. Next up, we have the extreme Batman himself, Jean-Paul Vallée. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Jean-Paul Vallée, also known as Azrael. During the Nightfall saga, when Bane broke Bruce's back, it was Jean Paul who inherited the mantle. But where Dick Grayson honored the mission, Jean Paul redefined it. Trained as assassin by the Order of Saint Dumas, Jean Paul's Batman was brutal, armored, and utterly terrifying. He abandoned Bruce's restraint and embraced lethal methods, turning Batman into more of a weapon than a symbol. What makes Jean Paul's time so significant is not the longevity, but the lesson. He proved that the wrong Batman can be just as dangerous as Gotham's villains. In mastering fear, he lost sight of justice, showing us exactly why Bruce's morale matters so much. Next up, the future Batman, Terry McGinnis. Now, let's fast forward to the future. Batman Beyond introduced us to Terry McGinnis, a teenager who discovers Bruce Wayne's secret and eventually inherits the mantle with Bruce as his mentor. Terry may not have Bruce's genius or his years of training, but he embodies Batman's tenacity. He learns strategy from the best and adapts it with youthful creativity. He faces villains that Bruce never encountered, proving that the idea of Batman can evolve with time. Terry shows us that Batman isn't bound to a singular era. It's a timeless role, one that will continue as long as Gotham needs it. Next up, we have the Flashpoint Batman, Thomas Wayne himself. In one of DC's wildest alternate realities. Bruce Wayne dies in the infamous alley, and his father, Thomas, becomes Batman. But make no mistake, this is not the Batman you know. Fueled by grief and rage, Thomas embraces brutality. He uses guns, he kills, and his crusade is a twisted reflection of Bruce's mission. Yet, beneath the violence, the dedication to Gotham still burns. He's fighting not just for his city, but for the son he lost. Thomas Wayne's Batman is important because it shows us how fragile the mantle is. Change just one detail in the origin story, and Batman becomes something terrifyingly different. Next up, the Lawful Batman, Jim Gordon. After Bruce was thought dead during Endgame, Gotham needed a protector. Enter Jim Gordon, the city's top cop, stepping into a high-tech robotic batsuit funded by the Gotham City Police Department. At first, it feels almost absurd. Commissioner Gordon as Batman? But what makes his story work is how he embodies justice in a different way. Where Bruce was an outlaw vigilante, Gordon brought Batman into the system. He fought not just as a symbol of fear, but as a symbol of law. Jim Gordon proves that even without Bruce's wealth and training, the Batman identity can still inspire. Sometimes what Gotham needs most is not a vigilante, but a cop who believes. And finally, we have the heir of blood, Damian Wayne. Finally, we come to perhaps the most controversial successor, Damian Wayne, the son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul, raised by the League of Assassins before being brought into Batman's world. In the alternate future of Batman 666, Damian becomes the Dark Knight after his father's death. But his version of Batman is darker, more violent, and far more ruthless. Damian embraces strategy and fear like his father, but his definition of justice bends toward vengeance. What makes Damian's Batman essential is the question he raises. When the mantle is passed to family, does it evolve or does it corrupt? Damian represents both the best and the worst of Bruce's legacy, and his story proves that Batman's bloodline does not guarantee Batman's heart. So, what does all this tell us? Well, it tells us the Batman has never just been one man, from heirs like Dick Grayson to extremes like Jean Paul Vallée. To futures shaped by Terry and Damon, the mantle adapts, evolves, and endures because in the end, Batman isn't just Bruce Wayne. Batman is an idea bigger than fear, bigger than Gotham, and bigger than any one person. And that's what makes the Dark Knight immortal. Thank you for tuning into Movement Radio. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the legacy of Batman, hit that like button, subscribe for more comic breakdowns, and let me know in the comments which of these Batmen do you think best lived up to the mantle. Until next time, I am Chip Hazard, and I'll see you in the next story. Peace.